This video may contain offensive language or be frightening to some viewers. Viewer discretion is recommended. Chapter 1: Moving Pictures. Dear Henry, it seems like a lifetime since we worked on cartoons together. 30 years really slips away, doesn't it? If you're back in town, come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you. Your best pal, Joey Drew. I glanced back over the letter. Old workshop, I thought to myself. But wasn't that abandoned 30 years ago? I decided it wasn't going to be so bad to visit the old workplace. We did, after all, work on that old cartoon show for kids, and I did have fond memories. So I decided it was probably worth giving it a visit. After all, it couldn't be that bad. I thought about it for just a few more seconds before deciding I would go. Before heading off to the car, I grabbed a flashlight from the cupboard. I can't explain why, but I had a strange feeling, and I wanted to be prepared. What if the place was abandoned? I'd at least want to be able to see my way around. I shrugged off the thought. I was probably just being paranoid. I got in my car, flicked on the radio, and began the drive to my old workplace. The scenery flew by, and the dull drone of my car's engine washed over me. A few minutes later, I had finally arrived at the workshop. Ah, good old times, Joey. Now let's see what we've got. I took a deep breath and opened the doors and stepped inside. They creaked shut behind me. I've got to admit, this place is just as run down as I thought it would be. I sighed. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But I've come this far, and I wasn't about to back out. All right, Joey, I'm here. Let's see if I can find what you wanted me to see. I looked at my surroundings to see posters of old episodes on the wooden walls. There was ink stains on the ceiling for some reason. I couldn't tell why. It was pretty dark in here. Good thing I was prepared and brought my flashlight. I pulled it out and turned it on, and began walking towards the film set, only to see that the film reel was blank. A wooden Bendy cutout had been set next to it, along with some wooden chairs. There was something eerie about this once familiar place. I walked further over to the small animating area. There were papers still scattered across the desk, and I noticed a hole in one of the walls. I wonder what happened here, I thought to myself as I continued exploring. I walked into a small hallway area and looked to my right. What's that? I examined the wall. there was writing. It said, "Dreams come true." That definitely wasn't there before. I continued walking towards a small room when I felt a breeze on the back of my neck. I instantly stopped, and the hairs stood up on the back of my neck. I looked behind me. "Who's there?" I searched with my flashlight, illuminating the darkness, but there was no one there. It must just be my imagination. I tried to convince myself anyway. I looked to my left, and there was a long hallway. I walked down the hallway, checking the doors along the way, but they were all shut and locked. When I walked closer, I could see now what Joey had planned for me. It was the old ink machine, still functioning. So this is the ink machine. I wonder how I turn it on. I tried to examine if there was a button or a lever, but there wasn't. So I continued on through the hallways until I was met with my laziest accomplishment ever, my animation desk. Here's my old desk. I've wasted so much time in this chair. Old memories flooded in, but I didn't have time to reminisce. There was something going on here, and I was determined to find out. I continued to walk on, and after about my fourth step, I heard a creak and then a loud bang as a plank fell down in front of me, blowing dust into my face, causing me to stop and cough uncontrollably. I looked to my right, and there was nothing there. But when I looked to my left, I saw the most horrifying thing in my life. Oh my God, Joey, what were you doing? It was the corpse of one of our characters, Boris the wolf. I ran over to the body and looked at it. He was filled with mechanical parts, like a robot that had been dismantled. I walked around and examined him, looking to the wall on the left of him. I noticed more ink splatters, forming the words, "Who's laughing now?" I was starting to think my old friend had maybe turned insane, and I started to walk away very carefully, as I had thought that it would come to life. I continued on to the next room, where there was a lever with 6 pillars in front of it. I think I found how to turn it on. I walked towards the lever. There was a sign above that said main power. Alright, how do I get this to work? I asked myself. I looked back at the pillars and noticed there was a different picture behind each one. Maybe I need to collect the items to power the ink machine. So I guess my quest has begun, I chuckled to myself dryly. I had no idea what the machine was capable of once powered on, but my curiosity had gotten the best of me, and I wasn't about to turn back now. On my hunt for the 6 items, I came across an old tape recorder. Curious, I pressed the play button, and to my surprise, it worked. An unfamiliar voice crackled to life. At this point, I don't know what Joey's plan is for this company. The animations sure aren't being finished on time anymore. And I certainly don't see why we need this machine. It's noisy, it's messy, and who needs that much ink anyway? Also, get this. Joey had each one of us donate something from our workstations. We put them on these little pedestals in the break room to help appease the gods, Joey says, to keep things going. I think he's lost his mind, but hey, he's writing the checks. But I'll tell you what, if one more of these pipes burst, I'm out of here. The message ended, and I was left with more questions than I had previously. Did Joey turn insane? Did he abandon the show? Did he cause all of this trouble just for me especially? I would have to continue to find the answers myself. Kill her, a voice insisted in his head. Whoa, you're really rowdy. Please try and calm down before I have to get there. She didn't get to finish, as Lou grabbed scissors from her tray, jabbing them into her eye.